Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's yoga practice. So a couple minutes before 6 o'clock, we'll start in just a minute, but if you're here, it'd be helpful for tonight's practice to have a strap. If you have one, you could use a belt, you could use a dog leash or a scarf if you have it. It's not necessary. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. I'm just going to give you a couple of options to use it. So that can be helpful. If you like to use blocks, if you like to sit on a blanket or a cushion, feel free to gather your props, whatever you like to have. So happy to be doing some live classes again. I'll be doing a class every Wednesday on my YouTube channel at 6 o'clock. So feel free to join me then. And these classes will live on my playlist here. So if you're not able to make that time, you can watch whenever it's convenient for you. We've got one more minute before I get started. We have some little rumblings of thunder in the background this evening. Hopefully we won't lose power or anything like that. If you do have a strap or a belt with a loop, you can go ahead and make a loop. We're actually going to put it around us and tighten it right underneath the chest or right underneath the breast to sit right on the lower limbs. Do some breathing exercises. So tonight's practice is going to be working towards expanding the breath. It's a good practice if you're recovering from a respiratory illness. So obviously I was inspired by this whole COVID crisis, but it doesn't have to be that. If you struggle with asthma or any breathing disorder, or you're just a yogi who wants to develop your breathing practice a little bit better, and strengthen it. So it's going to be a relatively gentle practice. I'm going to give you some different options throughout the practice. But just notice, so the whole purpose of yoga is awareness, right? And we're going to work a little on breath awareness and notice if we might be able to increase our breathing capacity from the beginning to the end of the practice. But done on a regular basis, this could be really helpful to you. So if you're getting over an illness, if, like I said, if you deal with a respiratory illness like asthma generally in your life, or you have allergies, recovering from COVID, and obviously, if you're not feeling like you have a lot of energy, you might only do some of these practices. You might do it halfway. Everything we do, you might pull back a little bit. So always remember, every practice we do, take care of yourself, listen to your body. You're developing that awareness of body, awareness of breath, awareness of your thoughts, your feelings. How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling mentally? Are you showing up with low energy today? Awareness of the subtle energies in the body, and cultivating that witness. So this is cultivating that relationship with yourself and your higher self. So please take care of yourself. And for those of you just jumping on, if you have a strap or a scarf or a belt or something that you can tie around your lower ribs, so just underneath the breasts, go ahead and do that. And if you don't have one, no worries. This is really just helpful for those of you that are really tactile and you like to feel sensation of something physically on you, but it's not necessary for the practice. So we're going to start. I'm going to sit on my blanket. You're welcome to sit on a cushion or a chair. And I'm just going to sit cross-legged, but again, sit however you're comfortable, but make sure that you can maintain a long spine. So we think about our diaphragm. This muscle, this breathing muscle, is attached to our ribs, our sternum, and our spine. And so as we move this muscle, as we breathe, and it contracts and it makes more space for us to breathe. And then as we exhale, it expands. It really massages that area of our body, the internal organs. It affects the spine. It moves the spine. There's a really great video that shows a skeleton, and it shows the effects of just breathing and using our diaphragm muscle, the effect that has on our spine. So I believe I posted on my Facebook page before, but I'll try to find that and post it again. So if you have the strap or scarf around you, as you breathe, you'll feel that expansion. You want it tight enough that you can feel it, tied tight enough or pulled tight enough. So go ahead and relax your shoulders, your hands. Just become aware of all the parts of you touching the earth. If it's helpful, downward towards the floor. And we're going to take Vayu Mudra today. So taking your index finger and touching the base of your thumb, and then you'll wrap your thumb around that finger just to hold it down. And the other three fingers extend outward and then rest the backs of the hands on your legs. And just take a moment to notice any sensation as you breathe. So noticing the effects of this mudra, if it makes it easier to take a breath. If you can feel the subtle direction of the breath upward as you inhale. And notice where you feel the breath. And then we're going to direct our attention to the front body. So as you breathe in, feel your ribs expand against that strap if you have it. And if not, no worries. Just bring your awareness to the front body as you breathe in. Maybe pause at the top and then slowly exhale. Breathing into the front body. Pause at the top. And exhale. Just noticing the sensation of a full breath. Breathe in. Pause at the top. And exhale. And breathe at your own pace. Next breath in, direct your awareness to the side ribs, or the air if there's nothing there. And exhale and soften the ribs. Breathing in, expanding, fullness. Exhaling, softening, emptiness. Breathing in and feeling that expansion into the side ribs. And exhale and soften. And then direct your awareness to the back body. So breathing in. This is where it can really be helpful to have that strap or scarf. Feel the back body. And exhale and soften. We tend to have our focus on what we can see, right? And we can't easily see our back body, but breathe. Feel the back of the ribs expand. And exhale and soften. And notice if any of these places are harder to feel or to expand. Breathing in, feel the back body. And exhale and soften. And then breathe in. Imagine filling all the way to the top of the lungs, lifting the collarbones. And exhale and soften. And breathe in and imagine filling the bottom of the lungs now. Exhale and soften. Now breathe in and bring your awareness just to the right side body. Exhale and soften. Breathe in awareness to the left side of the body. Left lung, left ribs. And exhale and soften. Finally, breathing in, feel that 360-degree awareness of ribs expanding, chest expanding, collarbones lifting, and softening as you exhale. One more time, inhale. Everything expands outward, upward, and everything softens back to the center on your exhale. Go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed. You can take your strap off or your scarf and just put it aside for now, but keep it close by. There'll be one other opportunity or two to use it. This is the difficult part. You get trapped into it, stuck in there. So go ahead and set that aside. If you need to fidget a little bit, change the cross of your legs or get into a different position, but make sure you come back to that long spine. We're going to do some more upper body work. So first, just taking the ribs down a little bit gently side to side. So upper torso, side to side, and you might notice as you go from one side that the side body and the oblique muscle lengthens a little bit. I'm just taking the rib cage side to side, not actually tilting. We'll do that in a minute. And moving the whole rib cage forward and back. And just be mindful if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia in the spine, you want to be careful not to overdo here, not really rounding or putting pressure on your spine. If you have a healthy spine, it's okay to deepen that into almost like a cat-cow movement. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. And then we're going to put those two movements together, side to side, forward and back, and just circle the whole chest, sternum, rib cage as a unit. Breathing as you come forward and exhaling as you go back. And then we'll switch directions and circle in the other direction. And then coming back to center. And another thing that's really helpful to do is actually take your fingers along the edge of the lower rib cage here and just kind of press in and notice if you feel anything feels stuck there. A little massage, see if you can run the fingers down there. That cavity, lifting the sternum. And then shake it out. And we'll go ahead and take our fingertips to the shoulders and just circle the elbows forward, up, back, and down. A couple of times. We're going to actually alternate in a minute. So this is kind of more of a shoulder opener. Breathing with your movement, reverse direction. Releasing tension from the shoulders and neck. And at times we're going to alternate. Notice how this feels a little different in the chest and the ribs. So even though it's a shoulder opener, you're kind of getting the whole upper torso involved a little bit more. Breathe. And then coming back to center. Remember, if you need to stop and take a deep breath at any time, go ahead and do that. Elbows down, we're gonna just gently twist now side to side, and this twist comes from the middle of the back. And we're gonna add the breath, sniffing in as you turn left and sniffing out as you turn right. So it goes. Six more times. One more. And come back to center. Relax the arms down, take the chin to the chest, lengthen through your spine. Inhale to look up. And exhale down, just releasing tension from your neck. One more time. Coming back to center. And again, if you need to switch the cross of your legs, will be just a little bit longer. We're going to take the right hand down, reach the left arm over your ear, and stretch the whole left side of the body. You can bend this bottom elbow in towards your waist. Try to keep your left hip from coming up. So keep it down towards the ground or the pillow, whatever you're sitting on. Stretching that whole side body. Big breath in. Maybe even taking the hand behind the head. Breathe into that left lung. And then as you can keep reaching, or you could take your hand behind your body, sort of reach the fingers over towards your hip. Take a deep breath all the way up to the collarbones. And exhale. So the neck muscles are secondary breathing muscles. They're not the primary. Of course, that's our diaphragm. Of course, the intercostals. Breathe all the way up to the neck. Exhale it out. And then gently start to lift up and turn your head to look down towards your mat, just to get in a little bit more to the back of the neck. And take another deep breath. And exhale. If you need to release your arm, you can do that. Reach to the fingers. One more breath. And then we're going to press down with this hand and come back to center and just slowly go to the other side. So right hand goes out, reach the left arm over your ear, right arm over your ear. I'm trying to mirror you guys tonight. So reach that right arm, keep the right hip down, big breath into the right lung. Maybe take the hand behind the head if that feels better. So opening the ribs, not curling down, but opening, expanding. Breathe. And then releasing that arm, let the fingers reach away from you. Keep your head where it is. So you're stretching through the side of your neck. You can keep reaching with the hand, or you can take the hand behind you towards your left hip. Tuck the chin a little bit. Maintain some space here so you're not just crunching into the other side. You just stretched. Breathe all the way up to the muscles of the neck and exhale. As you exhale, just dropping down a little bit. And then gently come all the way back up. Guess what? We get to release our legs now. I'm going to actually come off my blanket. If you tend to round into your lower back, you might want to stay seated on a blanket, but I'm going to come down. With wide legs here, so pressing down through the thighs and the shins, toes are pointing. A little more upper body work. We're going to take that right hand down and reach the left hand towards the toes. So making a circle with it. Bring it back behind you and then circle the other arm. So this is still a shoulder opener. We're just going to alternate circling one arm forward and across as if you're going to try to touch that toe. It's a little bit of a forward bend, but that's not the main purpose here. We're just opening up the shoulders and the upper body. Breathe. So there's a little exhale as you go forward. Inhale as you open up. And then come back to center. And we'll go ahead and bend the left knee and straighten the right leg. So I'm not mirroring you here. It's going to be easier because we're going to start getting into a little bit of twist. So rather than deal with directions, I'm just going to say bend left foot in towards your right thigh. And from here, we're going to go ahead and take the right hand down to your leg or to the floor, or your toe if you can touch your toe. If not, no worries. Leg or floor will work. And reach that left arm over. So we're going to come into that big side bend again. Reach, reach, reach. To curl in. But again, imagine there's a wall behind you holding you up. Breathe. And then go ahead and bring that hand down to the floor. Reach the right arm up and over. You can even come down onto your forearm. You could also use a block here. And you're going to point that toe now. So we were just flexing it. Now you're going to point it and reach through your right fingertips, stretching the whole right side of your body. And come back to center. So right hand down, reach the left arm up. Go ahead and flex the foot. Reach and breathe. Come back to center. You can come down on that forearm if you like, or you might be on the hand. Point the toe, reach, stretch that whole side of the body. So we have a visitor here, Mr. Junior, making his presence known. Come back to center, right hand down, and reach that left arm right one more time towards the toes. Keep the chest open. Come back to center and left arm down, right arm reaches, point the toes. Come back to center and switch the legs. So we'll straighten the left leg, bring the sole of the right foot in towards that left thigh. And then left hand down on the leg, on the floor, touch the toe, whatever you can grab here or place that hand on. And reach the right arm up and over as you inhale, big breath. Exhale it out. Maybe you reach a little longer. Inhale to come back up. The right hand's going to come down. Reach the left arm. Point your left toe. So you decide where you feel comfortable. Maybe you can come down onto that forearm, or you can use a block, or just stay lifted. Inhale to come back up. Exhale it out. Inhale back up, and then exhale to the other side. Point the toe. Stretch longer. Take another in breath and an out breath. And inhale to come back up. One more time each side. So reaching towards that foot. If you want to grab the toe, you can. Inhale to come up. Other side. Big breath in. Breathe out. And inhale back up. Now soles of the feet together. We're going to bring them away from the groin a little bit, but heels in line with the groin. So we have this sort of a diamond shape here. Sit up nice and tall. Lift the sternum. And as you exhale, hinge forward any amount. So again, trying not to round into the lower back, but instead lengthening through your spine. A little bit of a forward bend, a little bit of a hip opener here, and breathe. And see if you can bring your awareness to the back body. So we'll do a little bit more with that awareness. We did a lot with the side body just now, and now breathing into the back. We're going to do another back breathing exercise. Inhale to come all the way up. We're going to transition to our knees. So if you like a little bit of padding for your knees, you might want to bring that blanket back, pad it up a little bit, and come onto the knees. If you're familiar with child's pose, so we're going to take the knees apart, toes together, and sink the heels back to, or the hips rather, back towards the heels. Walk the hands out and bringing the forehead down. Now you might want to use a block here for your forehead on any height. Probably not the tallest, but the middle or the low height. Maybe your I'm going to use the block tonight so my nose isn't breathing in the blanket. And some of you, your hips might be a little bit higher. If you're tight in the hips, that's totally fine. Then you might have the block up on this medium height. But just notice that stretch in the hips, the lower back, and bring your awareness to the back ribs. Breathe, feel that expansion, and exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. And breathe out. Pause. From here, you can put that block aside. We're going to transition to our belly. And I'm going to actually leave the blanket there for a moment. You can take it out if it bothers you. We're going to come into a couple of baby cobras. So hands under the shoulders, and the forehead can be down to the mat. You're going to untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet down, and your pelvis or your pubic bone is pressing down into your mat. Elbows are in real close to your side, so not out here, but in really close. And then as you inhale, start to lift your head and your chest and your shoulders. Don't use your hands yet, so you can actually lift the hands up. Draw the elbows back and down. Feel that in the upper body. Any straining, go ahead and release and come back down. Pressing down to the tops of your feet and your pubic bone. Go ahead and lift up again. Don't use the hands. Mono hands. Exhale and lower. And then this time, go ahead and press down with the hands. See if you can lift a little higher in your cobra. Now, if there's any... Okay, otherwise lifting up here. Exhale down, rest for a moment, stack your hands, rest your forehead. You can actually take the legs a little bit farther apart. If you want, you can also turn your head to the side. Take a couple of breaths there. And then when you feel ready, bring the feet back together in close. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So you're on your forearms now, and the palms are facing down. Elbows in line with your shoulder. Imagine that you're energetically drawing the mat, the front of the mat, towards you. And again, any discomfort in the lower back. So this is why I kept my blanket here. You can fold your blanket up and put this right under the front of the hips, right? So the pelvis. And you can use that to sort of help lift you up a little bit. So you decide if you need that or you want that. Otherwise, just coming into Sphinx. Pose, breathe. One more breath here. Those of you that want more, if you want to tuck your toes, you want to lift up into a forearm plank, feel free to do that. I'm imagining that we're recovering here from any kind of respiratory illness, and so you may not have that much energy, but if you want to take your practice a little bit deeper, a little stronger tonight, feel free to do that. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and draw the hands back under the shoulders, lift up to your cobra, and draw back to child's pose. I'm just going to take my blanket and move it to the side. We're not going to stay. Keep your hips over your knees this time. We're going to gently start to walk the hands forward and come into this version of puppy pose with the forehead down to the mat. So big stretch in the upper body. If this is too much on your knees, another version of this, you can do this at the wall. You can actually come to the wall, take the forearms to the wall. You're going to come a little bit higher, and then walk your legs away, press the forehead on the wall. It's not going to be quite as deep, but you're still going to get that stretch in the upper body. And now we don't have any pressure on the knees. Just opening the chest. And again, bring that awareness to the back body. Breathe. One more inhale. Gently start to, as you exhale, press the hands down, walk the hands back. And from here, we're going to go ahead and take the left arm up to the sky and exhale it underneath the body, coming into a twist. Inhale it back up to the sky, a little bit of movement. Exhale underneath. Inhale up to the sky and exhale underneath. So this time I'm going to turn around so you can see me. I should have done the other side first. Come down onto the back of your arm, palm face up. You can rest your head on the floor. Be careful not to press into the temple. And then your right hand can crawl up above your head. Breathe. Or you might take it up to the sky or wrap it around you. Maybe you can even find that left thigh with the right hand. It's a little bit deeper. And this can be pretty intense. So if this is too much, go ahead and back off. You can even just come into a seated twist. So if this is too much, you could come to your knees and just take a seated twist. Okay. Take one more breath. Those of you that are in the posture, just thread the needle. And then you can actually press down with the right hand to lift you up out of there. I'm going to turn back around and do the other side. And then we'll take our right hand and reach up to the sky and exhale and thread it through. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale it through. Inhale up to the sky and exhale it through. Coming down now onto that arm, the back of the hand and the palm face up. Rest your head on the floor. Could also be on a forearm. I didn't mention that on the other side. Crawl your left arm up over your head, fingertips to the floor. So you're tenting the hand. You can always wrap the arm around you instead and try to find that right thigh with the left hand. Breathe. And remember, if this is too much, energetically or too much on the knees, you can always simply come to sit and take a seated twist. And you might also reach that hand around and find the thigh. That actually feels really good right now. Stay in this twist. So find the movement that works for your body. And take one more breath. Exhale it out. So if you're down on the floor, you're going to take that hand back to the floor, press down to lift yourself out of it. And then from here, lift the hips up to the sky, press the heels back. If this is a little too much energy for you right now, just come into that child's pose that we were in earlier. And then we'll just go ahead and walk the feet up to the hands. Inhale, lift up halfway, make this nice L shape with the body, lengthening the spine, get a nice stretch in the backs of the legs, and exhale and fold. Stretch for the legs. We'll leave them out, even though we're focusing on the upper body. In fact, you can let your head hang here and just release any tension from your shoulders, release any tension from your neck. And then as you feel ready, start to bend your knees, take the arms out to the side and reach all the way up. Bring the palms to touch and exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment to breathe here. Notice your breath. If you want to come back to Vayu Mudra, you could take the index fingers to the thumb, holding them down, relax the arms at the side and breathe. Check our time. So from here, release the hands, bring the hands back to the heart. And then we're going to slide left arm down. Let me go ahead and face you. Left arm down, reach the right arm up and over. Let's take our side bend. Again, breathing in through that right rib cage. Breathe. Exhale, maybe reach a little bit longer. Press down through that right foot. Inhale to come back up. Right hand down. Inhale the left arm up and over. And exhale. Breathe. And a couple options. You can interlace your hands behind you, squeeze the shoulders back and down. We're going to come into a forward fold as we exhale. If you'd like, you can pick up that strap or that belt again. And then holding the belt with your hands, make sure there's just enough space there that you can, again, take the shoulders back and down and exhale and start to come forward. You can bring that strap up over your head. Otherwise, if you're clasping the hands, you can bring the hands up over the head. If you need to bend the knees here, if your hamstrings are tight, go ahead and do that. And if for any reason taking the head down makes you feel dizzy, come into more of a chair pose with the head in line with the heart. So you don't have to come all the way down if that's not right for you today. Then pressing down with the feet, come all the way up. If you need to close the eyes, pause for a moment. You can do that. And then we're going to go ahead and you won't need the strap again for a little bit. Actually, I totally just lied to you. You are going to need your strap. So you might need your strap. You might want to need your strap. So let's step the left foot back first since I'm facing you on that side. We're going to come into a lunge. So first find your balance here. The back heel is up. Draw the belly in. Maybe take both arms up to the sky if that feels okay. You could take the left arm down and the right arm up. Or if you want to use your strap, go ahead and hold the strap in your hands and squeeze and lift up to the sky. Breathe. Keep drawing belly in as you exhale. Plant that heel down, turn the back toes out. Make sure your knee stays in line, your front knee stays in line with your ankle. We're going to come into warrior two. So you might be able to take the feet a little further apart if that's right for you. Check your stance. Inhale the arms up and out, coming into warrior two. Draw the belly in. So just watch that this front knee isn't going out over your toes. Breathe here, looking out over the front fingers. And then we'll take a reverse warrior. Slide the left arm down, reach the right arm up, similar to what we did in our high lunge posture. And then exhale back to center, taking the forearm to the thigh. We'll come into side angle pose. So from here, taking that forearm to the thigh, pressing down a little to lift up, and we're going to turn the chest open, so towards the computer, towards me, towards the screen. And then take that left thumb to your shoulder, reach it over your ear, making this long line in the left side of the body. So it's stretching the side body. Breathe. Inhale, come all the way up, back to your warrior two. And then we'll just turn that back heel up, come back to your high lunge, find your balance, and step the feet together. You can march it out if you like, or just come to stand in mountain pose. Breathe. Notice your breath. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me. So have your strap nearby. Step your right foot back and find high lunge. So back heel up. Make sure the heel's in line with the toes so it's not sort of, maybe reach the arms up overhead. If you have trouble with balance, you can keep them on your front thigh. Maybe look up to the sky. You can take the right hand down and reach the left fingertips. And again, you could take that strap in between your hands and roll the shoulders back, squeeze those elbows towards each other, looking up to the sky. Breathe, opening the sternum, chest. And then exhale, release all of that Bring the back heel down. The toes are going to turn out some. Watch the front knee. It's not going out over my toe. It's right in line with the ankle. And then inhale the arms up and out. Find warrior two. Keep your belly engaged here. It's like that little corset that holds everything in. Breathe. Again, so we're getting a little bit more challenging with our standing poses. If this is too much, you can just skip this part, right? Or just stay to standing or repeat one of the other stretches. And then slide that right arm down, lift the left arm up over your ear. Breathe. So starting to regain strength. Maybe if you've been ill. And come back to center, front forearm to the thigh, elbow bent. So there's a little bit of pressing down as you lift up and make space here between the neck, the ear, and the shoulder, and then turning that chest open, reach the right arm over your ear. Stretching the whole right side of the body. You can even take Vayu Mudra in this posture, taking the index finger to the thumb. Breathe. Bring awareness to the breath. And inhale to come all the way back up. Hands to the heart. Turn that back heel up and step forward. Find mountain pose. And breathe. So from here, a little bit of balance pose. If you're feeling like your balance might be off or you're not that strong, if you are recovering from any kind of illness, you can come near a wall. And we'll start standing on our right foot. So pressing down through that foot, finding stability there. Draw the belly in, engage your abdominal muscles. This is going to hold our torso. And then start to draw your left knee up first, actually. So drawing that left knee in. And then you can sort of slide your hand down towards the ankle and bring your heel towards your glute. So again, use that wall for balance if you need it. Otherwise, if you don't need the wall, bring the heel towards the glute. Make sure your knee's not going out to the side or anything. Start to take the right arm up to the sky. Of course, if you have a ceiling to touch, you can use that for balance also. Find that nice stretch of the front of the thigh, balancing on that right foot. And release it down, step through the feet. We'll go to the other side. So same thing if you want to use a wall for stability. We're mainly just stretching the front of this thigh. So we're going to come into one more back bend this evening. A little more challenging one. So press down through that left foot. Start to draw the right knee in and find balance there. Again, using the wall if necessary. The wall to hold on to, reach the left arm up. Feel that stretch in the front of the right thigh and breathe. And if you fall, no worries, you can get back up again. Come in and out of this if you want. Let it go, shake it out. So we're going to come all the way back down to the floor. And you're going to come to lie on your stomach again. So I'm going to give you a couple of different options. Again, assuming that you want a gentler practice, we're going to go ahead and watch very carefully. So if you're a visual learner, I frequently teach this and people get mixed up. So we're going to come to lie on our belly, feet together, untuck your toes. We'll start with the left arm being parallel to the front of the mat, so elbow bent. And you're going to take your right cheek to the back of your left hand. So right cheek to left hand means that I'm looking at my left elbow. So think about that for a minute. If you're like me and you get confused with right and left, let your right arm just lie at your side. Be palm face up if that's more comfortable. So in a minute, as we breathe in, we're going to press down through our the top of our left foot. Inhale, lift your right leg and your left arm. And of course, your head's gonna come up too because you're resting on that hand. Exhale, lower. We're gonna stay on this side. Inhale, lift your right leg and your left arm. Imagine reaching long with that leg. Exhale down. Inhale, lift and hold. And exhale down. One more. Inhale, lift and hold. And rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. And then we're going to switch sides. So taking the left hand out to your side, I'm going to turn and look away from you. Place your left cheek on the back of your right hand, right? So your right forearm is parallel to the front of your mat. And then as we inhale, you're going to press down through the top of your right foot. Lift your left leg and your right arm. Notice if this side's different than the other. Is it harder? Is it easier? Exhale down. Inhale to lift up. And exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. And exhale down. Again, stack the hands, rest your forehead. You can take the feet further apart. You can rest here. So if you're recovering from an illness, starting to get your energy back, maybe just take a moment and rest here. For those of you who are just deepening the breath, opening the chest, expanding your ability to take a nice deep breath, we're going to go a little bit deeper. So from here, the first thing we'll do, and if you want to repeat what we just did and start over with the left cheek on the back, or I'm sorry, the right cheek on the back of the left hand and lifting up opposite arm and leg, you can repeat that 4 times each side. Otherwise, we're going to come back to the cobra that we were doing earlier. Hands under the shoulders, roll the shoulders away from your ears, bring the feet back together if they're not already. Press down to lift up into your cobra. And exhale and lower. Rest your forehead into Raja Bhujangasana, so the royal cobra pose here. And exhale and lower. And then last time you can repeat that, what we just did, pressing down with the hands, lifting up, bending the knees, or we can come into bow pose. So bending both knees, go ahead and grab your ankles. Inhale, press down through your pubic bone, lift the chest, kick the feet into your hands as you lift up, press down to that pubic bone, look forward. It's pretty intense. So again, if you're doing this and you're recovering, just stay in that first mode or in the relaxation mode, where we're all going to end in a minute. When you're ready, release, stack your hands, rest your forehead, wiggle your hips side to side. Let the legs come farther apart, and breathe. And then as you feel ready, we're just going to transition over onto our backs. Come to lie on your back. Draw your knees in, rock a little bit side to side, releasing that low back. If you like, you can circle the knees, give yourself a massage for the back. And then reverse the direction, go the other way. Perhaps draw the knees out to the sides, take your happy baby. And then anything you like here, some people like to rock a little bit side to side. Try to keep the tailbone down though, don't pull it up. You don't want to be pulling on your
lower spine. Some folks like to straighten one leg, pressing the foot into the hands, like trying to straighten. Mine don't straighten all the way because my hamstrings are tight. But that'll sort of rock you side to side too. It's a nice movement for the lower back. And then as you're ready, feet back down to the floor, we're going to take both knees over to the right, reach the left arm out to the left, left shoulder stays down on the floor. You can reach both arms out in a T, or you can take your right hand and just rest it on top of the legs, like a little weight holding down the legs. And if the legs don't come all the way to the floor or they don't stay together, you're kind of sliding them. You want to keep the hips even here for the SI joint, so you could always take a block under the knees or between the knees. And reach that arm. I don't need the blocks, I'm going to take it out. You can take your gaze over towards your left thumb. That might help keep that shoulder down. And if that's too much on your neck, try looking the other way, towards your right thumb. Or just gaze up towards the ceiling. Another breath here. Exhale, emptying the tummy, deepen the twist. And then slowly bring the knees back to center, recentering the hips. It's helpful if you use the block, reach the right arm out, left hand on top of the legs, or both arms out to the side. And if you want to take your gaze towards the right thumb, or straight up, or to the left. So notice what feels good for your neck. Breathe. So as we got into that more demanding standing poses and the balance and the back bends, your breath may have started to quicken. Notice now the breath slowing down again. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the knees back to center, recenter the hips, get yourself comfortable. We'll prepare for final rest. So perhaps straightening the legs, if that does not feel good in your lower back, you can take that blanket, if you have one, you can roll that under your knees. You might want a blanket for under your head. And another option that's really nice, if you don't like lying flat on your back, is to just keep the knees bent. Oops. I like to have a little pillow. And take the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees fall together. So this can also be a final rest posture. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel all the points of contact between your back body and the floor. And as you exhale, allow those points to become. Breathing in, feel the breath expand out to the fingers and the toes. And as you exhale, feel all of that just drawing back inward and downward, allowing the body to get heavier on the floor. Bring full awareness to the breath. Follow your own breath cycle and rhythm. Feel the expansion of the chest and the ribs and the belly as you breathe. Softening. Rise and fall of chest and belly with each breath.
Notice the sensation of a full breath. Notice the sensation of emptiness as you exhale. And take a moment to scan the body and notice if any place in the body feels clenched or tight, tense, in need of a little extra breath. Breathe into those spaces. Imagine creating space. And exhale and soften. Continuing to breathe, I wanted to share with you a little passage from this book, Braiding Sweetgrass, which I just finished reading, by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And I'm going to share a few things from this book for the month of August as we go forward. But tonight, well, she talks a lot about reciprocity. And one of the places I think one of the clearest descriptions of this reciprocity, how we give and take, is in the breath. So we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and we have this reciprocal relationship with plant beings, with the trees, with the plants around us. So she says, we are all bound by a covenant of reciprocity. Plant breath for animal breath. Winter and summer. Predator and prey. Grass and fire. Night and day. Living and dying. Water knows this. Clouds know this. Soil and rocks know they are dancing in a continuous giveaway of making, unmaking, and making again the earth. And so coming back to this breath, this moment, the breath's so important, not only to our health of the body, health of the mind, but part of our direct experience and our direct relationship with the world around us, the natural world around us. So notice if the breath is a little lighter now. The body feels a little lighter. Notice the space around the body, the place where the edges of the body end and the space around it begins. Breathe out to those edges. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And gently take a deeper stretch as you feel ready, perhaps opening the arms out to the sides or over the head. Stretching the legs. And as you exhale, drawing the knees back, upward, inward, into the chest, and rolling to your side. Take a moment to pause there. Feeling the connection to the ground, to the earth. And as you feel ready, gently use your hands to walk yourself back up to a seated position. Let your head be the last thing to rise. When you find that comfortable seat, if you like, you could take Vayu Mudra again, or just place the hands down if you need a little grounding. Up for receiving and opening. Take a deep breath, expanding the lungs in every direction. Notice if anything has changed in the body, mind, or the breath. And then bringing hands together in front of the heart, we'll end tonight's class with the sacred sound of Om. Breathing in, breathing out. Deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. Be well.